From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Johnny, this is Byron Kay at Intercoastal Maritime and Life in Boston.
Hello, boy.
Remember Hurricane Audrey?
Back in the latter part of June, sure. Must have hit your company pretty hard.
Yes, but if anybody ever needed help, it was those people down in Louisiana and neighboring states.
Yeah.
So we've paid up the claims just as fast as they've come in. Except for one.
Oh, what's that?
One we received only a couple of days ago.
Okay, bye. Give me the dope and I'll head for Louisiana on the first plane.
Wrong direction, Johnny.
Huh? Texas?
No,
Oklahoma? Arkansas?
Buffalo, New York.
What?
And I think you'd better run over here and let me give you some facts.
Yeah, I think I'd better.
Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of a man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
And now, Act One of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Intercoastal Maritime and Life Insurance Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Charmona matter. Expense account item 1, 1845. Plane fare and incidentals, Hartford to Boston, and a cab to Byron Kay's office in the Little Building.
Glad to see you, Johnny.
Hi.
I'm glad you can take this on for me. Sit down.
Okay, thanks.
Ever hear of Charles Francis Keeley?
Keeley?
A very much reformed man, Johnny, who was apparently making a valiant try to live down some of the things he did earlier in his life.
Like what?
Well, he was I guess you'd call him a promoter, stock manipulator, that sort of thing. The point is, he made himself a lot of money a few years back until the authorities, the Securities Exchange Commission and so forth, put a stop to his fancy dealing.
Sounds like a real nice guy.
In any event, he had enough money by the time he quit to live pretty well. Nice home, beautiful wife, 62-foot cruiser, and that, by the way, is our biggest problem.
Oh, I wish my biggest problem was a 62-foot cruiser.
It is, Johnny. Now.
Then tell me all.
Yes. Early in June, he took his boat across Lake Erie to Detroit to have some work done on it at the Detroit Yacht Basin. Then, a couple of days before the end of the month, he started back for Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, that hurricane was moving north about then, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And his failure to appear in Buffalo within a reasonable time didn't worry his wife a bit. Often before making that same trip, he'd stopped off in Cleveland to visit some of his old cronies.
Uh-huh.
But by July 20th, she began to get worried. She called the friends in Cleveland. They hadn't seen him. Then she called the Coast Guard. No word. A few days later, a couple of the life preservers from his boat washed up on the south shore of Erie near the little town of Lindsay. That enough for you, Johnny?
How much insurance did he carry?
On himself, $35,000. On the boat, $106,000.
I see. Okay, bye. I'm on my way. Expense account item 2, transportation to Buffalo, where I signed in at the Statler Hotel. Item 3, $520 for dinner. Then taxi, that's item 4, to the Keeley home north of Delaware Park on Colvin Avenue. I don't know just what I'd expected Keeley's wife to look like. Suffice it to say, I was pleasantly surprised. She was young, tall, blonde, and beautiful, with eager, sparkling eyes and none of the signs of grief I'd anticipated.
I don't know why you registered at the hotel, Johnny. May I call you, Johnny?
Why, sure.
Please call me Mona. May I pour you another drink?
No, thanks.
As I started to say, you could have stayed here. There's plenty of room, as you can see.
Yes. This is a very beautiful house, Mona.
Yes, but so empty now. I get terribly lonely, Johnny.
Well, of course I don't blame you. But now suppose we talk, if you don't mind, about the
Johnny,
thing
if you have to be around for a few days, why don't you move out of that hotel and... Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. I guess I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But I am lonely.
Sure. Now, Mona, you realize this investigation is, it's just routine.
Of course, Johnny.
Now, as I understand, every effort has been made to find your husband.
Of course. And to find the Charmona.
Charmona?
The cruiser.
Oh, yes.
It was a beautiful thing, Johnny. But now it's gone. And Paul.
Paul?
Yes, Paul Matthews was the pilot. Only he was more than that. He was very nice.
Yeah. Well, now, as I...
Oh, excuse me. Every time that phone rings, I hope it's some word, some news that perhaps... Well, you know.
I'm not sure that I do.
What?
But by all means, answer it.
Yes, excuse me.
There was something distinctly wrong with this whole setup, that was for sure.
The Coast Guard, yes. Yes, this is she. This is Mona Keeley.
Perhaps Charles Keeley wasn't the only one in this family to arouse suspicion.
What? Say that again.
Especially now, with nearly $150,000 involved.
Yes, well, how about Paul? I said, how about Paul?
Then, when she finally finished with the phone call, came a couple of other surprises.
Thank you. Johnny, he's all right.
Huh?
That was the Coast Guard. They found him. He's all right. Isn't it wonderful?
That was the real surprise. Not what she said. Isn't it wonderful? Nor even the way she said it. But something deep back in her eyes that gave her away, that told me beyond the shadow of a doubt that she was lying through her teeth.
Act two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
It is a rare event when a young man decides to leave civilization behind and hide himself away in the steaming jungle, just so he can help his fellow humans in a remote corner of the world. The late Dr. Tom Dooley did just that when he left the United States to help the sick and starving jungle people in the little kingdom of Laos in Southeast Asia. Dr. Dooley's story is well known to nearly everyone. And all over the world, people talk of his little jungle hospital on stilts. That's where he treated the dread diseases of the jungle and trained native medical technicians so that they might help their own people. Dr. Dooley wrote and lectured to many people so that the work of his medical assistance program, Medico, might go on. It was not easy for someone so young and so talented to give up the bright lights of the city and plant himself down in an unknown jungle just for the purpose of helping unfortunate people he didn't even know. But through Medico, Dr. Tom Dooley wanted to help people. He wanted to help people to help themselves. Today, the work of Medico is going forward in a number of countries besides Laos. Young men are being sent to the United States to be schooled in medicine with the idea of returning to their own countries to help their own people. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of medical supplies have been donated by American businessmen and pharmaceutical companies. Today, Dr. Tom Dooley's work is being continued for him. It is helping to create better understanding. It is an injection of the spirit of freedom. The right of all men everywhere.
And now, Act two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the Charmona matter.
The news that her husband was still alive came as quite a surprise to Mona Keeley. Isn't it wonderful, she said. But I didn't believe that she meant it.
On the south shore of the lake, Johnny, near the little town of Lindsay, west of Cleveland. He was picked up on the beach by a farmer who's been caring for him ever since.
Isn't it kind of funny that you haven't heard from him before? That hurricane was a couple of months ago.
Well, he was out of his mind from the shock of what happened to him.
Did the Coast Guard say anything about the yacht?
No, Johnny, I'm afraid that Charmona is at the bottom of Lake Erie.
Well, where is he now?
In Cleveland, in a small private hospital.
Well, hadn't you better go over there and get him, bring him back here?
I told the Coast Guard we would.
Mona, you're not really glad that he's been found, that he's still alive, are you?
No, I'm not. I guess I never really loved Charles. I'm not sure he really loved me. He was a big shot, always out in the town, doing a lot of entertaining, that sort of thing. I was very pretty then. Kind of a business asset for him.
When were you and Charles married, Mona?
9 years ago.
It looks as though he's done pretty well by you.
I never had any reason to complain. About that, I mean. But the things he did to make his money, it was... Well, I guess it was legal, but it wasn't right. It was almost like stealing, the way he promoted a lot of worthless inventions, penny stocks, worthless real estate, that sort of thing. But he always did all right.
And you.
Well, who worries about conscience when things are going well?
A lot of people, Mona.
But then they made him stop the things he was doing. And Charles became very strange. He took up religion like a fanatic.
Oh?
Kept giving his money away to a lot of crazy charities, money I could have used. And he got moody. He'd go off alone for weeks at a time, pay no attention to me. That's what I meant when I said I was lonely, Johnny. Not just since the accident that lost the boat and Paul.
Paul again, huh?
Don't you understand? These crazy things have been going on for over a year now. That's why I'm not jumping with joy that Charles is alive. Do you blame me?
Hadn't we better drive on over to Cleveland and get him?
All right. I'll run upstairs and change my clothes. Excuse me, I'll be ready in a minute.
Maybe I should have felt a bit more sympathetic, but I didn't. Maybe Charles Keeley did marry her simply because he could afford to keep a smart, pretty ornament around at his beck and call. Yeah, but the chances were she'd married him solely for the things his money could buy her. She took a long time changing her clothes, which didn't surprise me, so I poured myself a drink. I glanced over some of the magazines on the coffee table. I got up and stared out of the window for want of something better to do. Wandered about the room. Wandered into the oak-paneled den. I looked over the shelves of fine books, the gun collection, and the cabinet in the corner. And almost idly, I reached out toward the leather-topped desk to shove back a slip of paper that stuck out of one of the drawers. Until I saw what it was. It was an unpaid bill, several months old, from an exclusive New York shop for some very expensive gowns. And inside, the drawer was packed with unpaid bills, thousands of dollars worth of them, and statements bearing a polite, firm warning to pay up or else. No wonder Keeley's sweet, charming wife had hoped she'd never hear from him again. Gone, he was worth $35,000 to her, and the yacht $106,000. Perhaps somehow Mona Keeley had even had a hand in the wrecking of that yacht. I wondered. And I decided I didn't care much for people like this. But my meditations were suddenly interrupted by a sound from the doorway. And there she stood. A pretty little pearl-handled .25 caliber Colt in a dainty gloved hand.
I'm ready, Johnny. Are you?
So I see. Ready for what, Mona?
I guess that depends, doesn't it?
Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in a moment.
Our flag now numbers 50 stars, and behind each star there stands yet another flag representing one of the 50 states. Wisconsin's state flag bears the state motto, Forward, and a likeness of the state mascot, the badger. The word badger was a nickname for the miners in southwest Wisconsin. During the mining boom just prior to 1830, the people who came from Illinois mined only during the good season and left during the bad. They were called suckers, just like the fish in the streams. But the busy Wisconsinites, with either too little time to leave or to build a house, moved into abandoned mine shafts to live as badgers. The Wisconsin banner pays tribute to these industrious natives. Wisconsin's state flag, the flag of the 30th state to enter the Union, was adopted on April 26, 1913.
And now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the Charmona matter.
Mona Keeley stood there in the door of the den, a .25 caliber Colt in her hand. For she'd caught me going through the drawer of a desk, through papers that showed only too clearly why the loss in a storm of a $100,000 yacht might well have been carefully planned. Why she wished that her husband had gone down with her.
You shouldn't have done it, Johnny. You shouldn't have looked in that desk.
Pretty good proof, isn't it, Mona, that the wreck of the Charmona was no accident. I don't know how your husband worked it and still managed to get back to shore alive.
You don't know what you're talking about.
But he almost didn't make it, if what you've told me is the truth. Maybe that's because he didn't anticipate that the storms from Hurricane Audrey would hit Lake Erie. Maybe it's because... well, we'll soon find out.
Will you?
Yes, when we drive over to the hospital in Cleveland and talk with him, if he's really there.
Oh, he's there, all right. And you and I are going for a drive, but not to Cleveland. All right, now.
Oh, put that thing down, Mona.
Sorry, sweetheart.
That little thing in your hand is about as accurate as a slingshot. Now, why don't you...
No, don't move.
I still don't get it, though.
Oh, what?
And I'm sure you must have been in with your husband on his deliberate sinking of the yacht.
If you think Charles sank it deliberately, Johnny, you're all wrong.
Then I certainly don't get it. Because if... Oh, now, wait a minute. You've made a couple of cracks about... What was his name? Paul?
Do you want to know the truth? Paul was the pilot for Charles, and there's been no word about him. So he must have gone down with the Charmona. That's why I'm lonely and feel the way I do.
Mona, this whole thing smells worse to me every minute.
He was young, and he was kind, and he loved me. I was glad when they found the Charmona had gone down, because the money for it would be mine. And I could get free of Charles, and Paul and I could... That's why I hoped Charles was gone.
Yeah, another $35,000 for you. You're about the crummiest lot I've ever run into. Look at this, Mona, here on the desk.
What?
This solid gold table lamp.
What about
And
it?
there beside you, that expensive mirror.
What are you talking about?
Well, look.
Why did you do that?
To get this gun away from you.
No, you... Oh, you...
A lot of good this would have done you with the safety on.
I'll kill you for this, Johnny.
No, I don't think so. And I don't think the police would like it if you try.
Oh, no. Do you think they'd blame me for trying to stop you from going through the papers in my desk? For shooting you? No. Wait. I didn't mean that. I couldn't have shot you, Johnny. Johnny?
Before we go, is there anything you'd like to tell me?
Go? Where?
Is there anything you'd like to tell me about why Charles really sank the Charmona?
No. And I don't think you'll ever know how and why the Charmona went down.
Want to bet? No, stay right there. Now I've got the gun, remember? Hello?
What? Charlie?
No. This is a friend of the family.
Oh, well, this is Harry Nelson. You gave me a real start. I thought Charlie'd come back from his watery grave.
He has, Mr. Nelson.
What?
Yes, he's in a Cleveland hospital. He's okay.
Oh. Well, then I'll talk to him when he gets back. You see, I'm the man who was going to give him $98,000 for the Charmona when he got her back from Detroit.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But since the Coast Guard tells me she was a complete loss, well, naturally, I think I ought to have my deposit back.
I'm sure you'll get it, Mr. Nelson.
Yeah, okay, Mr. What did you say your name is?
Bye.
Who was that?
Someone who threw some very interesting light on this whole matter. Come on.
Where?
Our little drive, remember? To Cleveland. During the 5-hour drive to Grace Hospital on the outskirts of Cleveland, I questioned her, using every trick I could, but she refused to talk. The theory that Charles Keeley had deliberately sunk his yacht had gone up in smoke. If he had a buyer for it, he wouldn't need to try to collect the insurance on it. But I still knew the whole case was anything but lily white, and hoped that Keeley could explain a few things. When we arrived at the hospital, there was a police lieutenant in Keeley's room and a stenographer. When she saw them, Mona gasped slightly and sank into a chair, to which the lieutenant promptly handcuffed her. As Charles Keeley talked, the whole case became crystal clear, and at the same time about as sordid as anything I'd ever heard.
I should have realized what was up when Paul Matthews suddenly refused to make the trip back to Buffalo with me. He was my pilot, Lieutenant. I phoned the Coast Guard about him as soon
Yes, sir. It was on the Coast Guard's tip that we ordered Paul Matthews picked up.
Picked up. Then he's all right.
Shut her up, Lieutenant, or get her out of here.
As I started to say, they not only picked him up, but found where he bought the various parts for the little device he used.
Good.
Device? What are you talking about, Lieutenant?
Let me tell him.
Sure, go ahead, Mr. Keeley. Then this stenographer will have it all down on the record.
I should have known what was up when Paul suddenly decided not to go back with me just before sailing time. You see, I've suspected for some months that he and my wife behind my back...
Charles.
Shut up, you rotten little...
Go on, Mr. Keeley.
I should have known then, but I had to get the cruiser back to Buffalo to a friend who'd offered me cash for it.
Harry Nelson.
Yes, enough to get me back on my feet again. And I didn't know why Paul had left me to make the trip alone until the explosion about 5 hours out.
What?
Yes, Mr. Dollar, up forward, where there couldn't possibly have been anything explosive.
A bomb of some sort?
What else, Dollar?
It was luck, sheer luck, that I was sailing in close, that I'd put on a life preserver because of the storm.
That was the tail end of the hurricane down south, you understand?
Yes, and it was luck that she went down right off Palace Rock.
Yeah, that's exactly where the Coast Guard divers found her early this morning. A hole as big as a house blown out of her front end.
Yes, that storm, that hurricane may have taken a lot of lives, but it saved mine.
All I can say is I'm glad there are courts to take care of situations like this. I myself would hate to have to dirty my hands any further. Yeah, it probably does take all kinds to make a world. But believe me, the world would be a lot better off without some of those kinds. The claim on the yacht, sure, it'll have to be paid. And to a man I honestly think is trying to live a decent life for a change. Expense account total, including incidentals, and the trip back to Hartford, $103.80. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Our star will return in just a moment.
An old English proverb states that a friend in need is a friend indeed. We've all heard it before, but how many of us have realized the full import of its meaning? When Jose Lara Valverde, an 8-year-old Spanish boy, was in need, he found out what real friendship could be. Stricken by a rare glandular disease, little Jose began to lose his fight for survival when his vital supply of drugs ran out. In a desperate call for help, an amateur radio operator named Conte broadcast a weak signal over the European airwaves. The plea was picked up by a ham operator, Hans Ketterle, in Germany, who relayed the urgent message to a nearby United States Air Force unit. The American airmen quickly dug up the only available drugs of the kind needed. They flew the Mercy package by jet to Madrid. From there, an ambulance screamed its urgent way 190 miles to Andújar, Jose's hometown. The medicine saved his life, but only temporarily. Another source had to be found, and it was, again, in Germany. The two rare drugs were again rushed by American jet fighter pilots, by helicopter, and by Air Force staff car through high winds and thunderstorms to the bedside of the stricken boy. The medicine was given to Jose, and again he responded. This same life and death drama was repeated elsewhere in Spain when men of the United States Air Force came to the rescue of another young Spanish boy in need of another rare drug. People-to-people giving is more than a program. It is an act of friendship. It is a fight for freedom, the right of all men, everywhere.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood. This is Dan Cubberly speaking.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Dollar.
Bert Helfer, Johnny, Merry Christmas to you.
Well, hi, Bert. Same to you.
Thanks.
Only what are you doing in your office on a Friday afternoon so close to the big holiday instead of out shopping?
Well, I'll tell you, Johnny.
Now, listen, Bert, I'm overworked, I'm tired, and I'm not taking on any investigations till after Christmas.
Okay, by me.
Hey, Bert, you sound terrible. What's the matter? You got a cold?
Oh, horrible one. I've had it for a week.
Well, why are you still there in your office at this hour instead of home in bed?
Well, I'm just cleaning up before I take a couple of weeks off. Johnny, can you come on over?
Now?
Now.
No. Any new assignment's going to have to wait till after the holidays.
Well, sure.
I mean, I would kind of like to have a few days free myself, so wait till after Christmas, will you?
Well, sure, I'll be glad to, but who said anything about an assignment?
Well, isn't that why you called?
Not a bit of it, so come on over.
You're not kidding me now, are you, Bert?
I just thought you'd like to pick up the dough for that San Francisco job you did for us a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
Don't tell me you're so rich you've forgotten about it. Well?
I'll see you there in your office in a few minutes.
Right.
Only, Bert,
Yeah?
you're sure now that's all you really want me for?
That's all, Johnny.
Now, you won't try to finagle me into something, some job you just happen to think of after I get over there.
Honor bright.
Okay, Bert. I'm on my way.
The CBS Radio Network brings you Mandel Kramer in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Trinity Mutual Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the phony phone matter. Expense account item 1. After checking out with my call service, $1.20 for a cab over to Bert Helfer's office high in the tower of the Manley Building, overlooking most of the city. Lo and behold, there wasn't a soul in the place except Bert himself. Most of the lights were off. The rows and rows of typewriters and calculating machines were covered and quiet. The filing cabinets neatly cleared and closed. Even the telephone switchboard off in one corner was untended, although I noticed one patch cord plugged in, the tiny light above it burning. It was Bert's line in use.
Yeah. I'll take care of it just as soon as I get back here in the office again. Yeah, that'll be on Tuesday, January 2nd. Good. Thank you, and a Merry Christmas to you, too. All right, Johnny, sit down.
Well, I'll say this for you, Bert. You are certainly the loyal company servant.
Well, I just want to be absolutely sure everything's taken care of so they won't be calling me down there in Miami Beach to lay down my water skis and come back here before my vacation's over.
Oh, I can't say I blame you.
And here you are, baby. Here is the money for that San Francisco job. You want to count it?
How come in cash?
Don't you still have some Christmas shopping to do?
Don't we all?
Mm-hmm. And the banks will be closed by the time you get out of here, so... Well, I just tore up the check and pulled this out of petty cash.
Well, good for you. And hooray for petty cash.
I must say, though, there's nothing petty about the way you can run up an expense account.
Oh, Bert. Only trouble is, with all this dough in hand, I'll probably go out and spend a lot more than I ought to.
Oh, sure, on all that flock of gals you keep on the string.
Jealous, Mr. Married Man?
Sure I am. Only I'm not really. Don't you kid yourself, baby. One of these days you'll put on the halter, too.
Fat chance.
Now, here, if you'll just sign this receipt.
There you are.
Good. Oh, and here. I almost forgot. While you were on your way over, your telephone answering service called with this message.
Oh?
Yeah. Call Exmont 35770 immediately, urgent.
Who is Exmont 35770?
You don't know?
No.
Well, I'm afraid I do.
Who?
It's the home of a character by the name of Harvey L. Hallett.
Harvey L. Oh, wait a minute. Any relation to the people who took over that little plant that I passed on the way over here? Hallett Industries?
He is Hallett Industries.
Oh?
Yeah. Look. You can see the place out of this window. You see it over there?
So?
You know, I hate to admit it. One of the boys in the office sold him a lot of insurance when he took over that place about 6 months ago.
Well, what's the matter with that?
Oh, we've had a big headache with that account on the inventory insurance.
How do you mean?
Well, apparently they make a lot of electronic stuff over there, and a lot of it's kind of secret, I guess, kept under lock and key.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it's been reported stolen. Half a dozen burglaries in the last 6 months, according to Mr. Harvey L. Hallett. And we've had to pay off through the nose.
Why do you say according to Mr. Hallett that way?
Because I wouldn't trust that character as far as you can throw this building. In other words, if I could, I'd just cancel out his policy, I think a lot of those losses he reported were phonies. If I'd had any sense, I would have called you in on him.
Well, so long, Bertie.
As a matter of fact, I wish you would look into it for us after I get back.
After? Okay, but not now.
All right, that's all right by me.
I wonder why he's called me.
Well, I'm afraid it was my fault.
Why? How do you mean?
Well, I'd kind of let your name slip out somewhere along the line, and yesterday Hallett called me, said he'd been thinking it over, asked me for your number, and, well, I gave it to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Johnny, I shouldn't have, especially since I want you to investigate him. So as for calling him back, if you don't want to, don't.
If what you say about him is true, though, maybe I will.
After the holidays.
No. Right now.
Oh, why?
Bert, it's an old trick. And a corny one, but a lot of people still think it's pretty clever.
Trick?
The cover-up. A man kills somebody or he blows a safe or he tries an embezzlement, whatever. He's the one who calls in the cops. Or even tells them that he thinks it might happen.
So that nobody will suspect him.
Of course.
I never thought of that.
So, if what you say is true, if he is the kind of guy you seem to think he is, if he's back of his own burglaries on which he has collected a lot of nice insurance money...
Oh, I'd bet on it.
And if he's planning another such caper...
Sure he is. Johnny, I think you've got something there.
On the other hand, though, Bert, if he's clean, if he really does want to help...
Oh, that I doubt.
Let me have the phone.
Look, why don't you wait till after the holidays?
Nope.
Okay, it's on your own head then.
This is home telephone number, did you say?
Yeah, the factory is a Weatherby number. Weatherby something.
Hello?
Mr. Hallett, please.
This is Mary Hallett, Mrs. Hallett.
Is Mr. Hallett there?
Well, he's terribly busy at the moment. May I ask who's calling, please?
This is Johnny Dollar.
Oh, Mr. Dollar, yes. He said he was very anxious to speak with you, but he's just about to leave for New York. Oh, just a minute. Here he is. Harvey, it's for you. Darling, I know, but it's Mr. Johnny Dollar. You said you want... Yes. Here, dear.
Dollar, this is Harvey Hallett.
Yes, Mr. Hallett.
Merry Christmas and all that. And listen, I'm very anxious to see you and to talk to you.
Well, whenever you
I've
find...
had some problems over at my electronics plant, but I have to leave now immediately.
Well, if it's...
Can I call you on Tuesday?
Oh, sure.
On Tuesday morning at, say, about... Yes, I know, dear, I know. Dollar, I'm sorry, but I have to hang up. I'll call you on Tuesday.
Well, look, Mr... Hello? Hello? Well, that's what I call a man in a hurry.
Yeah, I could hear him.
Something about going to New York, he said. Or, his wife did, anyway. Where does he live, Bert? Anywhere near that little plant of his?
Are you kidding? With an Exmont number? No, he lives a mile, maybe a mile.
Holy smoke. What's that?
Or some kind of explosion, it sounded like. Johnny, look. Look out the window, right over there. Whew. Holy smoke is right.
I see. That's going to be one big fire.
Yeah. Don't you recognize that building, Johnny?
Oh, you're right, Bert. Hallett Industries. Item 2, $1 for a taxi over to the scene of the fire. I'll say this, that fire must have really taken hold with a bang, and I don't mean because of the explosion we'd heard. It was a small building, not more than a couple of 100 feet square, and by the time I arrived, there were flames pouring out of every window. And smoke, thick black smoke. The fire department was already hard at work, and by the time I'd singled out Police Lieutenant Billy Harmon to get his opinion of it, things were fairly well under control. Hey, Lieutenant, what brings you here?
Only one thing, Mr. Harvey L. Hallett.
What do you mean by that, Lieutenant?
I'm the patsy got assigned to those burglaries that he had. You know something?
No, tell me.
I got just exactly nowhere on him. And you know something else?
Yeah?
Now, I can't prove this. Can't prove a thing for that matter, simply because, well, I can't, that's all. But I also can't get over the feeling the reason I couldn't get anywhere was because our friend Mr. Hallett didn't want me to.
Didn't want you to? You mean no cooperation?
Just the opposite. Too much cooperation.
Oh?
So much, I couldn't make a move without finding him underfoot, making like he was doing everything he could to help.
I see.
But actually, all he was doing was getting in the way. He'd suggest so many possibilities and demand I follow him up. I didn't have time or opportunity to follow up those I'd thought of. Not properly, that is. Smoke. The old misdirection bit, if you know what I mean, Johnny. Johnny, I don't trust that guy.
Seems to me I've heard somebody else give out with that same opinion.
When I got the word this place was going up, well, you know what I think, Johnny?
Arson?
I'd bet on it. And if it is, you can be sure the boys in the torch squad will spot it. They're in there working on it already. You know, Hanley and Jimmy Beckett.
Yeah.
You ask me, they're the two best arson men a police department ever had.
They're a pretty good pair.
And if it is arson, you can be sure my number one suspect will be none other than... Wait a minute. Oil off! Conroy! Keep those people back in the line before... Come on, keep them back there. Hey, you, mister. What do you think you're doing this... Oh, you...
Lieutenant Harmon, how did this happen? I heard the explosion all the way over at my home.
Now, you claim you were at home, Mr. Hallett?
Yes, of course I was at home.
Can you prove that?
I beg your pardon?
Yes, I'm afraid he can, Lieutenant.
Oh, you're Mr. Dollar.
That's right. Did you call off your trip to New York?
Well, I was just leaving. I heard the explosion and saw the smoke, so I drove on over here.
No, you just drove on over, huh?
Yes, I did. What happened? Dollar, what started it?
Well, I'd say that you know just as much as we do.
Or a lot more.
What's that?
Excuse me a minute. Yeah, what is it, Beckett?
Look at it, Dollar. The whole plant, the whole business, all gone up in smoke.
Yeah. Pretty well insured, though, isn't it?
Huh? You think that money can make up for all the time and work and worry that went into it? All gone up in smoke. Mr. Dollar.
Yeah.
The color of that smoke.
That was the first thing I noticed, Mr. Hallett.
The smell. The odor.
Yes, I know.
The storeroom is full of solvents. Highly volatile solvents.
You think that caused the explosion?
It must have. But how? The storage arrangement was approved by this very fire department. It was like a vault. There's no way that any heat could get into it.
Well, you think then that maybe somebody did,
But how? It was always locked.
Wasn't there supposed to be a watchman on duty?
Of course. Old Ben Matthews. That Dollar, if he was anywhere near that explosion when it occurred... Oh, no.
In other words, if it was arson by somebody the watchman may have seen.
I said if.
And if that watchman did see anybody around.
Arson, all right, Dolly. Boys are sure of it.
They are, Lieutenant?
I can't believe it.
As for Ben Matthews, the watchman, well, I don't think there's much question but that he did see who did it. And that he knew him.
No? Then you mean Ben is still alive?
That door had a dead latch on it. Took a key to open it inside as well as outside.
I know, and old Ben had orders not to admit
wait
anyone...
and listen, Mr. Hallett.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Lieutenant.
Ben's key is still in the inside of that lock. So he let somebody in. Now that means somebody that he must have recognized.
Why do you say that?
I knew old Ben. I know he had orders not to let anybody in. Not anybody. Isn't that true, Mr. Hallett?
Yes, of course it is.
So I know he wouldn't. But of course, if his boss told him to open up...
Now, just a minute, Lieutenant. If you're implying what I think you are...
Yeah? Well, if the shoe fits. Don't worry, Mr. Hallett. You'll never be able to testify. Thanks to that bullet in his head.
Good Lord.
Breaks your heart, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
You know something?
Now, just a minute. Just 1 minute. Stop acting like a couple of angry kids. Lieutenant.
Yeah, well...
You say it was arson.
With a murder on top of it. And Mr.
All right. Now, what kind of a device was used?
Device? What do you mean,
What kind of a timer to set it off?
Nothing. No device. Only a paraffin wick. Into a bottle or tank of some kind of that solvent in there.
How long a wick?
Only a couple of feet. And that means that somebody was in there only seconds before it went off. And that's somebody, Mr. Hallett.
I tell you, I was at home on the other side of town.
That's right, he was, Mr. Hallett. What did you say, Dollar?
He was at home, Lieutenant. I know, because I called him on the telephone only seconds before this thing started.
This period between Thanksgiving and Christmas is a happy one as we busy ourselves with rounds of shopping and parties. But for hundreds of thousands of families abroad, it's like any other time of the year, a time of hunger. So why not share your holiday joy with one or more of the less fortunate families? Send them care food packages. They cost only $1 apiece and contain enough food to supplement family rations for a whole month. So send your dollars to CARE, New York, 16, New York.
Item 3, 10 cents for a phone call to Mr. Jonathan Buckley at his home. Buck was with me. The Hallett Industries account was in Mr. Buckley's bank.
But now look here, Johnny. You know very well I can't tell you that. Such matters are completely confidential between a banker and his client.
Even though arson is involved, Mr. Buckley?
Even though, Johnny.
And a murder?
Murder?
That's right. Well?
What if I were simply to say that, in spite of all the money originally transferred from his New York bank, that Hallett's financial condition is pretty bad?
Oh?
Would that be of any help, Johnny?
It certainly would. Thanks.
Another thing, Dollar.
Yes, Lieutenant.
After those so-called burglaries, I checked over every one of Hallett's 8 employees myself. There isn't a cleaner bunch of people anywhere in town.
Well, even so.
I'm sure of it. What's more, I've known every one of them personally for years. Even went to school with a couple of them. So you see what I'm getting at? Hallett. Hallett is the only one we don't really know about.
Where'd he come from, Lieutenant?
Who knows? You think he'd tell us? The truth, that is?
Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Buckley, the banker.
What's he got to do with it?
Funds transferred, he said, from... Hey, you want to treat me to a call to New York? The phone call was to an old friend of mine, Lieutenant Randy Singer, Detective Division, 18th Precinct, New York Police Department. One of the best of his kind I've ever known.
Okay, Johnny, let's have it. What sort of a jam do you expect me to get you out of this time? And what you doing down here in New York?
I'm not. I'm up here in Hartford. Now, listen.
Oh, I get it. You need an excuse to pad out that fancy expense account of yours, huh? To impress somebody.
Randy.
You're running up a phone bill.
Randy.
Oh, go ahead, Johnny. Talk it up. I'll make like I'm listening. Everybody will be happy. How are you, anyhow?
Randy, will you listen to me?
Yeah?
Does the name Harvey L. Hallett mean anything to you?
Harrison Peterson.
What?
You heard me.
Oh, come on, make sense, will you?
You think we don't keep track of the crooks we've had to deal with even after they've been chased out of our fair city? Of course we do.
Randy.
And poor Paraffin Peterson, well, we couldn't get a thing on him, by the way.
Randy, the man I'm interested in is Harvey L. Hallett.
But we did make it pretty rough on him. We dubbed him Paraffin Pete because of his one and only method of starting a fire. And that's the name he took on after we showed him the way out of town. He and that doll of his, Mary. Only Ma would be a better word.
The name, Randy?
What? Oh, the one you said.
Harvey L. Hallett?
Yep. Used to be known in these parts as Paul Peterson. Paraffin Peterson.
Okay, Randy, thank you. You hear it, Lieutenant?
Sure did, Dollar.
Looks like you were right. He's our man.
Yeah, but you yourself are his alibi. I mean, if you were really talking to him on the phone the same time as that fire was set.
Well, now, suddenly, I'm not so sure. Hallett Electronics, Well, maybe his product line includes something like... Come on, Lieutenant, we better get going.
Yeah, where?
Let's hope he hasn't got home from his fire yet. When we got there, Hallett was just walking into his front door, which means he didn't have time to put away the device that his wife, Mary, had been careless enough to leave sitting on a table not more than 2 feet away from the telephone.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Dollar. What...
Yes, Hallett?
You mind telling me why you two have burrowed your way in here this way? Lieutenant, will you please stop fooling around with our tape recorder until I find out what this is all about?
If it's the music you want, I'll put on the radio. There's nothing on that tape but a lot of noise from a party we had.
Dollar, I asked you a question.
Are you ready, Lieutenant?
All set.
All right, I'll turn it on.
Oh, just a minute.
Hold it, Hallett. You pull that electric plug and I just might pull this trigger.
This is ridiculous.
Well, we'll see.
There's nothing on that tape, I tell you. There's nothing on it.
Harvey Hallett. Merry Christmas and all that, and listen now. I'm very anxious to see you and talk to you about some problems over at my electronics plant. But I have to leave now immediately.
Well, I must...
Can I call you on Tuesday? On Tuesday morning, to say about, Yes, I know, dear, I know. Dollar, I'm sorry, but I have to hang up. I'll call you on Tuesday.
So, Johnny?
That's right, Lieutenant. Pre-recorded here before he left to set the fire. So when I called in answer to his urgent message, all his wife had to do was hold the phone over next to this tape machine. No wonder I couldn't get a word in edgewise. Then, as soon as I hung up, she called him at the plant to go ahead. Any comment, Mr. Hallett? Expense account total? Forget it. I'd rather take this time to wish you, all of you, wherever you are, a very Merry Christmas. And that's from the heart. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Now, here's our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week? Well, next week, there won't be any case. But I think you'll want to be here anyway. Next week at this time, you'll be hearing our annual Christmas Eve Sing with Bing. We'll be back 2 weeks from now. Merry Christmas from yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Johnny Dollar is written by Jack Johnstone, produced and directed by Bruno Zerato Jr., music supervision by Ethel Huber. Johnny Dollar is played by Mandel Kramer. Also featured in our cast were Jackson Beck as Lieutenant Billy Harmon, Michael Caine as Harvey Hallett, William Redfield as Bert Helfer, Terry Keene as Mrs. Hallett, Eugene Francis as Lieutenant Randy Singer, and David Kern as Jonathan Buckley. Remember, no story next week, but yours truly, Johnny Dollar, returns 2 weeks from now with his next exciting story. At this time next week, by all means, plan to join Bing Crosby, Kathy Crosby, Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy, Mortimer Snurd, the Norman Luboff Choir, and Paul Weston's Orchestra for the 7th annual Christmas Eve Sing with Bing. This is Pat Cannell speaking. The stars shed their inhibitions on Arthur Godfrey time weekdays on the CBS Radio Network.
Johnny Dollar.
This is Harry Branson at Philadelphia Mutual Liability and Casualty Company.
Harry, it's been a long time. What's on your mind?
John, I have a case for you involving several of our very important clients.
Good. Then it ought to pay me a nice big fee.
I'm not sure about that, John. Of course, we'll pay your regular expenses and your regular commission.
But no extra fee?
I don't know.
You, huh?
That is to say, it all depends on what you're able to, shall we say, unearth.
Something or someone, Harry.
What?
You said on Earth, didn't you?
What facts you're able to ascertain is what I meant.
Oh. So what about these very important clients of yours?
John, they have disappeared.
Oh, well, then maybe unearth is the proper term.
What?
What have the police got to say about them? You did call in the police, didn't you?
Oh, yes, but they gave up years ago. At least
years
in the case...
ago?
That's right. At least in the case...
Now, wait a minute, Harry. You say they disappeared years ago.
Well, some of them...
But now, all of a sudden, you expect me to be able to... What did you say the extra fee will be on this case?
I told you
it all depends.
Exactly.
Yeah, on whether I'm able to literally dig them up for you. You know where they're buried?
John, this morbid so-called sense of humor, of course.
Okay, Harry, okay. I'll be down to see you. And you might have a good, strong shovel ready and waiting for me.
John!
Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Now, Act One of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Philadelphia Mutual Liability and Casualty Company. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the cask of death matter. Expense account item 1, 1340, train fare and incidentals, Hartford to Philadelphia. I went by train since Harry Branson didn't seem to be in a hurry, and I enjoyed a look at the countryside this time of year. It was a little after noon by the time I reached the office on Walnut Street and sat down to talk with Harry.
But I thought I impressed the...
Old sober-sides Branson hadn't changed a bit since the last time I'd seen him. And he still looked as though he was carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders.
However, now that you have finally arrived, suppose I get right to the point and tell you what this is all about.
Well, you said on the phone that some of your policyholders have disappeared.
Yes, and you must understand this, John.
Yeah?
In accordance with Pennsylvania law, in a case of a mysterious disappearance, and I'm sure you're familiar with the mysterious disappearance clause, it's part of all our life insurance contracts.
Well, if you mean did I ever read the fine print on one of your policies, the answer's no.
You should sometime. The fact remains that when the insured disappears and fails to return or otherwise be accounted for by the end of 7 years, when the company has received no proof the insured is still alive, the company then presumes the insured to be deceased. Do I make myself clear?
Keep talking, Harry.
It simply means that at the end of 7 years, the full amount of the insurance is then paid to the beneficiary or beneficiaries, whichever the case may be.
So,
7 years ago, a Mr. Wilbur Davis of Goshenville here in Pennsylvania mysteriously disappeared. Now his beneficiary is demanding payment of the insurance.
Naturally. So why don't you pay it?
We shall. But in checking through the files, I've suddenly discovered that his was only the first in a long series of mysterious disappearances. There have been a total of 8, all within a relatively small area, and of recently increasing frequency.
When was the last one?
The 4th of last month, Mr. Charles Moody.
Charles Moody. Where?
In the little town of Kirkwood, New Jersey.
And the police have found no clue as to what might have happened to him?
None whatsoever.
One in Goshenville, Pennsylvania, one in Kirkwood, New Jersey. Where were the others?
2 in other small Jersey towns, 2 here in Pennsylvania, and 2 down in Delaware.
Any relationship among the beneficiaries?
None. That is, none that we know of. Why do you ask that?
I just wondered if some one person was killing them off to collect the insurance.
No, the beneficiaries are all widely separated individuals, so you can dismiss any possibility of murder.
Harry, in a case of this kind, that's the one possibility I never dismiss. Harry's secretary put together a comprehensive list of the people we were concerned with. Their names, addresses, beneficiaries, and so on. In my room at the Bellevue Stratford that evening, I went over it carefully. All of these people had disappeared from their homes in small communities. All of them had been in their 60s. Had been widowers or bachelors. As for the beneficiaries, they were scattered about all over the country. Early the next morning, I paid my hotel bill. That's item 2, $18 even for the room and a couple of meals. Then spent item 3, $50 deposit on a rental car. I drove first to the little town of Kirkwood, New Jersey, from which a Mr. Charles Moody had disappeared just about a month ago. I stopped to make inquiries at the general store.
Thank you, Miss Peterson. I'll see you next week again.
Now, as you were saying, Mr. Hurley?
Yes, Mr. Dollar, I certainly hope Mr. Moody shows up again. You're a fine man. Fine man. Used to come down here at the store for a quiet game of checkers now and then.
And the police have no idea where he might have gone or why?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm about the only police we have here in Kirkwood.
Oh?
Of course, I notified the state police, and I presume they're still looking for him.
Just, what happened, Mr. Hurley?
Just took the bus into Philadelphia one day, and, well, that's the last we heard of him.
Do you know anything about the beneficiary of his insurance? Let's see. According to my list...
It's a nephew, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah, Charles Moody.
Lives out in California. Yeah, Mr. Moody always felt that he was the most deserving of his relatives.
Left him everything, huh?
Well, the insurance and his money, yes. Well, I know because, well, I'm the only lawyer here in Kirkwood, and I made out a will for him.
You say just the money to his nephew?
Except for his wine cellar, all his property will go to the town.
Wine cellar?
Yes. If Mr. Moody doesn't come back, or if he's proved to be dead, the wine cellar will go over to a man over in Philadelphia. Had themselves a sort of a gourmet club, I guess you'd call it.
I see. But now tell me...
You know, I kind of wish he'd have willed me that wine cellar. You should see the collection he has there from all over the world.
Yes.
German wines and French and Italian.
Yes, I'm sure.
Swiss, Hungarian,
Now, Mr. Hurley,
champagne.
Is there anything else you can tell me that might help me to find him? How about his friends?
Everybody was Mr. Moody's friend, Mr. Dollar. But as I started to say about those wines he had...
So I checked out all of Mr. Moody's friends there in Kirkwood and ended up with no more information than I got from the storekeeper. But you know something? If I had had sense enough to realize it, I'd have gotten plenty from him. He had given me a real key to the disappearance, not only of Mr. Moody, but of the 7 other people on the list. And what a key. Yeah, to what turned out to be one of the weirdest cases I ever handled.
Now, Act 2 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar and the Cask of Death matter.
Item 5, $42.70, traveling expenses, food and lodging for the next 2 days. I drove my rental car to Pittsgrove and Malaga, New Jersey, Armstrong and Mount Pleasant down in Delaware, then Hickoryville, Pennsylvania, Goshenville, and the nearby town of Milne. I contacted not only the local police, such as they were, but dug up the lawyers who'd written wills for the missing men. And by doing so, I learned a strange, intriguing fact. You see, my last contact was there in the village of Milne with the one lawyer in town.
Yes, Mr. Dollar. If my client, Mr. Frederick Burton, fails to return by the end of 7 years, your company will have to pay the insurance. As for the rest of his estate...
Including a wine cellar?
Yes, a very excellent one. Its contents will go to a friend of his who lives in Philadelphia.
Mr. Edward Alden Poley.
Yes, that's right. How did you know?
Well, I've been doing a little poking around these past couple of days.
You understand, of course, that's only if we receive some definite evidence of Mr. Burton's death, or if he fails to return before the 7 years is up and therefore legally is presumed to be deceased.
Do you know anything about this man, Poley?
No, I don't. It seems they had a sort of epicures club.
Do you know who the other members of it were?
Well, Mr. Burton told me who they are sometime before he disappeared. If you'll just give me a moment, perhaps I can recall their names.
You want to check them against this list of mine?
Yeah, if you like.
All right, let's see. Mr. Frederick Burton, that's your client.
Yes?
John L. Wakeman over in Hickoryville.
Mm-hmm.
Wilbur Davis in Goshenville.
That's correct.
Harmon Phillips and Ralph Hunter from down in Delaware.
That's right.
And finally, Charles Moody, Nathan Norwood, and William Harnell over in Jersey.
Your list is quite correct, Mr. Dollar, except for one omission.
There was another?
Mr. Bradford W. Turner.
Do you know where he lives?
Yes, in the little town of Alloway here in Pennsylvania.
That is, if he hasn't disappeared.
Yes, Good heavens. Do you mean to say that all the others... Well, I know, of course, that Mr. Burton did, but... Do you mean to say that all the others on that list have disappeared, too?
Yes, sir. And I'm going to find out about this Mr. Turner right now. In the town of Alloway, did you say?
Well, yes, it's about 18 miles north of here.
Okay, sir. And I'm very much obliged to you.
Mr. Dollar.
Yeah?
Do you really think there can be some connection between these disappearances and the fact that all these men have willed their wine collections to this Edward Alden Poley?
What do you think? Wait a minute. Had I told him the others all willed their wine collections to Polly? Or had he just come to that conclusion? Or what? Anyway, I drove due north to Alloway. The one large, rather nice home belonged to Mr. Bradford W. Turner, the man whose name was not on my list. So I hoped that he was still here in the land of the living. He was, and he turned out to be a very fine gentleman, despite his preoccupation with vintage wine.
No, Mr. Dollar. Our little order of epicures has not been very active since several of the members have, disappeared.
But not you or Mr. E.A. Poley.
I was just preparing to make the trip over to Philadelphia to pay a visit to Mr. Poley.
Oh? Mind telling me why, Mr. Turner?
Not at all, sir. Not at all. I happen to have an excellent wine cellar.
Yes, I rather guessed that.
Oh, but it's nothing compared to that, Mr. Poley's. Edward is younger than I, younger than any of us. But his vast, labyrinthine cellar is a veritable treasure house of rare and priceless vintage.
I see. Now,
even I haven't seen the full extent of it, but if only I could get hold of some of that ancient, rare Amontillado he has so often told us about. Promised to show us so many times. Up until now, I've not had anything worthy to offer him in exchange. But now I've acquired a bottle of very old and very fine Medoc, a Dugrave. So I shall take it to him in the hope...
You know, you talk as though this wine collecting were the most important thing in your life.
Oh, it is, sir. And with Poley, it's an almost overpowering passion. It is his life.
The kind of man who'd kill his own mother for a bottle of wine, huh?
That's not the jest you may think it is, Mr. Dollar. Which is why I wonder if this bottle of fine Medoc will be enough.
Mr. Turner, you're not taking it over to him.
I beg your pardon.
I am.
Now, look here, Mr. Dollar. I've been awaiting this opportunity for years.
Yeah, and you'd probably give just about anything.
You are right, sir. I would.
Your life? Yeah, every one of the old men who disappeared had been a nut on the subject of wine collecting, and had provided in his will that his cellar was to go to a Mr. Edward Alden Poley. You know something? When I talked to Poley at his home in the old Germantown section of Philadelphia, I decided he was the biggest nut of all, and possibly a dangerous one. There was an old house and a big one. It must have been one of the original Philadelphia mansions. As for Poley himself, well, I'd say he was a man of about 50. He was short and heavy-set, and his face reminded me of a bird of prey. Very thin, with a long, aquiline nose. His eyes were far apart and almost beady. In spite of his shortness, he seemed to almost hover over things, including me. As he led me into the library, his eyes kept glancing at the package I carried, and there was a kind of inner glow in them. I could think of only one thing. Madness.
Dollar, did you say?
That's right. Johnny Dollar.
I see.
Oh?
I mean, it's a very unusual name.
I, can't help but admire this library, Mr. Foley.
Only the best. I must have only the best, Mr. Dollar.
Yes, it looks so.
Nothing, no one must stand in the way of my having the rarest, the finest of everything. Sometimes it takes years, Mr. Dollar, but sooner or later I get what I want.
I notice you have a lot of the works of Edgar Allan Poe.
The greatest writer who ever lived. I am fortunate to bear the same initials.
What? Oh, yeah.
Look there. First copies of his works. And look there. The manuscript of one of them. It has to do with a certain wine.
Yeah, I see.
Which brings us to what you have there.
Well, it's a famous old Medoc, Mr. Poley, a de Grave.
Its age, the vintage. Let me see.
What? Well, sure.
Yes. Look at it.
Well, I only brought it here for your opinion.
Huh? Oh, but I must have this. I must have...
I'm afraid that's impossible.
Oh... We shall see. Perhaps we'll make an exchange. I have in my vaults an old, a rare, a priceless Amontillado. Come, Mr. Dollar.
The cask of Amontillado, huh?
What was that?
Nothing, sir. Lead the way. He did. Yeah, he sure did. Through a hidden door behind a panel in the wall. Instead of using a flashlight, he took along a sort of torch, a flambeau, I think you call it, that gave off an evil, oily smell that stained the passageway with smoke. He led me down a long, winding staircase between the walls. Then finally we came to the vast wine vaults deep underground. This was really something out of Edgar Allan Poe. It was cool and damp with great drops of water slipping down the old stone walls. On one of them was a motto.
Nemo me impune lacessit.
I'm afraid my Latin is a little rusty.
No one dare seek to best me with impunity.
Yeah. But now the Amontillado.
A little further. Are you a mason?
A mason?
A little joke, Mr. Dollar. You see, I am.
He pulled a small trowel out of the inner pocket of his coat, then laughed strangely. Sure. The cask of Amontillado, just like in the story by Edgar Allan Poe. The dark, damp wine vaults, that motto on the wall, the trowel. And this madman was living the part. No wonder his friends had disappeared, because each of them had had some priceless wine that he wouldn't part with. That is, until...
The next vault, Mr. Dollar. A large crypt with niches in the wall, some of them blocked in, others empty, waiting. There I'll introduce you to my friends who are gathered there.
Your friends?
Of the Order of Epicures. They, too, have brought me wines for my collection. Davis, Norwood, Harnell, Hunter, Phillips, Wakeman, Frederick Burton.
Those names.
Even my old friend Charles Moody.
You killed them, didn't you?
Killed them?
You brought them down here.
Let me see the bottle of de Gras.
You promised to show them the cask of Amontillado.
Yes.
Then buried them here in one of these crypts.
Yes. But, Mr. Dollar, you must not keep our friends waiting.
Yeah. There's the mortar and the bricks.
And the Amontillado? In the niche behind you.
The mortar box. A hole for mixing in that shovel.
Yes, the shovel. And with it, you'll join my friends. This isn't the way the story.
The 8 men who disappeared, yeah, they were all buried behind the bricks and mortar that walled up 8 of the niches in that deep underground vault. Funny, I completely forgot to look to see if there was a cask of Amontillado in that cellar. Edward Alden Poley, when the courts get through with his case, I'm sure he'll be committed to an institution for the rest of his life. Yeah, I told you in the beginning, this was the weirdest case I ever tackled. Expense account total, including incidentals and the trip back to Hartford, $101.20. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Now, here's our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, I run into a girl who is fabulously rich, and because of it, fabulously poor. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Harry Bartell, Forrest Lewis, Bartlett Robinson, Farley Bear, and Marvin Miller. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is Dan Cubberly speaking.